Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Damn Parenting, your English-speaking parenting podcast from Amsterdam. We are your hosts, Maren and
Eva.
And this is another DAMChats episode. One topic that we wanted to pick up was our last episode with Dr. Naomi Gibson that came out last week, where we were talking about perfectionism and how it is a state that we shouldn't aim to achieve in parenting because it's like mission impossible and we're setting ourselves up for failure. We came up during the discussion with the good enough perfectionist and good enough parenting and how aiming for the best result in that situation is enough. We thought we talked about stuff, but then we thought, why don't we give practical examples how we, Eva and I, now a week later, have really adapted to that concept and not have been perfect, and what were examples that we like to share. No one feels, oh yeah, everyone's talking about not being perfect, but then they're still trying to do it and they're still like not sharing the imperfections. So we wanted to take this chance to do that and share some of our good enough parenting. And one example that I can give where I thought, oh my God, if I would tell this to anyone, they're going to judge me so hard. It's not to my standards. It's something that I don't even want anyone to see, blah, 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 which is impossible because it's taking place in public. So one of the examples where I was just in quotations, a good enough parent was that we are going through a very big phase of separation anxiety right now. My child is 3.5. There has been lots of change happening in the last 2 months for her. We took away her pacifier. I started working again. It was just a lot of transitions for her. And that peaked in, I don't want to go to daycare anymore. I don't want you to leave. I just want to be with you all time, every time. But now that I cannot just not send her to daycare, but she has to go, we were really struggling with doing this in a gentle way, addressing her needs, hearing her, but at the same time, make it very clear that not going is not an option. So one thing that I came up with on the days where I cannot take the metro or the bus or like go there in another way and I have to take my bike is I said, you can watch iPad and the bug feeds. And that's how we go to daycare right now. And she can pick an episode. She has her headphones on. Yeah, she watches 24 minutes of iPad. That's how we go to daycare.
And if you think about it, in America, when they're traveling in their car 45 minutes, the kids are in the back of the car anyway, and they're probably got the iPad there anyway. You're just doing it in a more Amsterdam way.
Yeah. But still, I haven't seen anyone doing this. And of course, it's like, is it great that we start the day like going with screen time? Is it? I don't know, but it has to be done that way because that's the only way that she will get into the bike. And I cannot tackle 20 kilos that are screaming and kicking and moving into this bucket. It's like, it's not happening. Sometimes I have to take the bike. So I thought, how can I make it attractive? And I didn't want to give her candy or anything. So I thought, okay, what's the closest thing that she would grab the bait? That was that. And I just did it out of the necessity that I cannot change the fact that we need to take the bike now. We need to go. And also, I know it's not going to be forever. It's not going to be determining the quality of my parenting for the rest of the day and for the next years. It's not going to do any damage. She's not able to read a book yet, so I can't offer her a book. She doesn't listen to podcasts. I'm like, yeah, well, that's my truth. And hopefully that will make someone feel better if they also had situations where they said, well, my only last weapon, that's it. I have to draw that one.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? I guess for me was, so the deadline for choosing schools for our age group was March 7th. And on March 6th, we handed in our papers to school. And it was honestly because for the last, 6 months or so, I've been investigating and researching and looking online and trying to find the numbers. And I was trying to make sure I got the perfect school and it was the right match and it was everything we could possibly do. And this was, I didn't make a mistake. This is exactly what she needs. This is the right environment for her. This school is going to be the best for her. And I swear to God, I can't tell you how much I procrastinated and probably drove my husband up the wall to the point that the night before, like he literally sat down on the chair and pointed to the paper going, fill it out. And the way I filled it out was backwards because I couldn't choose between 1 and 2. And I was so, and my biggest fear was just like, I don't even know what my biggest fear was, to be honest. At the end of the day, she's only entering group 1 and 2, and that's pre-K, I think it would be, or kindergarten. There's not that much. But my thing is, I'm placing on her an issue I had from my childhood where I moved school and that didn't go well for me. And so my fear of that has been placed on her. And so the truth is for 6 months, we've had those pieces of paper sitting here and I've been looking at them and sitting down. And I can still tell you, still right now, I have two Safari pages with probably 12 pages open on all the different schools and with the ciphers numbers and because I still even now, even though that paper's been handed in, I'm still like, did I do the right thing? When we were chatting about, being good enough, and it was a case of I have to not put my fear of what happened to me on her, first off. Second off, the schools are going to be more or less the same. Yes, it's just the different types of schools are going to be different. But the other thing is group one and group two is just not child's play, but it's just that aspect that I'm trying to give myself a break in of just saying, this is not setting her up for university when she's
Exactly.
18,
Yeah.
it's been hard. And as I said, it's really been since we got the letter and it's sat here and it's haunted me. And last week when we did the episode with Naomi, probably was still looking at that letter as we were recording it, thinking, I had to listen to it and I had to say, okay, you know what? This isn't going to be perfect. And I'm not going to have all my data spreadsheets about like this calculations means this school must be it. So I had to kind of,
Especially because one of the biggest factors you cannot control, and that's her.
exactly.
You can choose whatever you think is from the looks and from that and from the research and all of that the perfect. Then if she just hates it because she doesn't like the children or she doesn't like whatever is going on there, then and she's happier in another school where you're like, oh my God, the numbers are not good. But what's the goal? The goal is that she's happy going to school. We can only set up the environment, but then we know they're letting us know if it fits or not. And we can't always change everything. We can be flexible with it, but I mean, we can only plan so much, right?
Absolutely. So that's one of my examples. I mean, I probably have a
Yeah.
whole ream of other examples from the weekend because I had my mother visiting. And so there's a whole other thing of make this a
Yeah.
perfect visit because, you
Oh
never
God.
know. And
Yeah.
but at the same time, I was also like, at the end of the day, I still gotta stick to our routine. I mean, look, we're all trying to do our best and I'm trying to stop looking at all the data. I'm trying to stop, filling up the calendar, oh, she gotta do this, she gotta do, got to get into the art class and got to get into music class and, taper it down to be like, we don't.
Yeah. It was exactly also yesterday. We had a day. She was home. I was with her all day. We didn't have any appointments. But then I, in my head, said, oh, we gotta get out the house. We gotta get out the house because we need to get out the house at least once. It was pouring. It was horrible weather outside. But I still was like, okay, I need to make up a reason now. And then I thought, okay, we can drive to the dry cleaner in the pipe, which is a 20-minute bike ride, and then we can go to the playground or do this. And then I was pushing so much for it and I was rushing. Let's get this, let's get out because we need to get out the house. We need to do this. And then my daughter was like, I don't want to go outside. And then my initial reaction was, we have to go outside and also we planned it now. But then I thought, you know what? No, we do not have to go outside. I don't want to go outside. I'm just doing this because of my guilt that someone says a child needs to go outside once a day. And if they don't, they're doomed. Like, no, it's raining, pouring. No one wants to be outside. So let's not. And then we had an amazing afternoon inside. We played. I still went out later when the babysitter was there, but I was like, why? For whom? For whom am I doing this right now? Not for me, not for her, because clearly neither of us want to do it. So that was also one thing, like just letting this stuff go where you think this is how it has to be and this is every day needs to be this special thing and every day needs to have this. And then one thing that she said, it was very funny. It's a different situation, but it summed up the expectation for the day where I said, oh, today is a day where I just want this to be a nice day for you, because you don't want to go to daycare right now. So this is like, you don't have to go to daycare today. Let's just have a nice day. And then we did something and I said no. And then she said, but Mama, you said I can have a nice day today. So if you don't do this now, I'm not going to have a nice day today.
Oh, she got
She asked me to carry her up the stairs and I was like, okay, I'm going to carry you up so you can have a nice day today.
Oh my God.
But then the same thing with the going out. I was like, yeah, she's not gonna have a nice day if I make her careful now. It's
Well, I have to
devastating.
say that exact thing where you said, like, oh, we got to go out, we got to go out. Honestly, that thing stems from the fact that I found, and it's really good. I think it's called the 1,000 hours outside or something like that. So every
Mhm.
year they give you examples of things you can do to build up to 1,000 hours because a child should be outside for 3 hours every day. And so I was driven by that, that it's like, oh, that's what's expected. I got to do that. I got to do that. And so that's exactly what happened to me is like where are we gonna go? It's pouring
Mm,
rain, it's cold, it's windy. She's not gonna enjoy it, like I'm not gonna enjoy it, like why the hell am I doing this? But I
yeah,
would still try, and she would always be the one turning to look at me going no. And I'm kind of like,
good.
oh yeah, but it's good. But
Yeah,
then I'm like, but maybe I'm failing as a parent, that I should have motivated her, or she'd want to be one of those children who'll go outside and play in the rain. And like it's a multifaceted way of kind of failing in my own head, like, oh, I'm failing
yeah,
because she needs to do this, and I'm failing because we aren't doing it. And ugh,
it
stupid perfect
sucks.
parenting. It's just, there's
Yeah,
always a list that, oh, you should be doing artwork every day. Oh, you should be doing music. Oh, you should be outside. There's always going to be a list of things. Oh, you were an engineer. Yeah, so you played with your magnet tiles like every day for
hmm
3 hours throughout your childhood. Oh, that's what I
yeah.
needed to do. There's always something.
Yeah, especially in our times where there is luckily so much research, but then it's good and bad at the same time. Basically, that we have all this information doesn't make it easier, right? It's really filtering what works, what area also. Like there's so many areas in parenting where you can pick, this is going to be my area where I really want to make sure because it's important to me, want to make this right. This can be nutrition or hygiene or activity or whatever. There's so many topics that we can pick. And then that's fine if we excel in this one category, but then the rest, why can we be happy with a middle ground? Why can't we happy with, we're not going to excel in every single, and that doesn't mean we fail as parents under the big umbrella. It's just one thing that we super important to us and others is just not. Also seeing this more of compartmentalizing parenting in the different topics. And just because you don't do this in one area doesn't mean that the rest is going to shit, hopefully.
Absolutely. And so, with that, this is actually International Parental Mental Health Awareness Week 2024. And so, we really hope for anyone who actually didn't hear last week's episode with Dr. Naomi Gibson, the Good Enough Psychologist, we had an episode of the Good Enough Parent, or Perfectionist, actually.
Perfectionist, yeah.
So, please be good on yourself. I mean, I've got an abundance of like F ups. I don't know if I'm going to swear on this one, but I mean, at the end of the day, I definitely haven't gotten everything right. And I don't know any parent who's gotten everything right. At the end of the day, we're all struggling the same way right now. So that's been our damn chats.
And if you want to hear more from us every Wednesday, you can have the opportunity to hear on an expert interview where we talk about topics that are relevant right now, or there's any theme weeks or theme days, and we bring an expert on for that particular topic. Other than that, every Monday, we try to bring out a damn chat like today, where Eva and I are just casually chatting away about a topic that has come up over the week. You can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure to activate the bell or the notification so you get a ring when we are out with a new episode every Wednesday and Monday. And until then, we're here on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.